Hello, Bill Molyneux here for day 2 of Barrage Wargame Convention in Havre de Grace, Maryland, for the HAWKS Wargaming Group. And Derek is already working on setting up our Alamo. Yes, and we'll come over here and talk to Derek. Hold on. Hello, Derek. So I know you're one of the game masters here for the Alamo. What's going to happen?
Well, I'm hoping the Texans win. They're going to take the day, change history a little bit, and send the Mexicans back across the border.
All right. Well, it looks like this scale is not 15 or 28. Can you explain the figures a little bit?
It's huge, 54 millimeter. More akin to back in the day of playing with your Marks Alamo or Fort Apache. When you were a little kid, spread them all out on the dining room table. It's just a fun scale to play with, more nostalgic than anything.
And it looks like you have cattle here.
Got to have the cattle pen. I was adamant about that.
All right.
Just because it's cool.
Well, we got a cattle pen. All right. Well, I'm going to go hit more of the convention games. Hopefully we'll get some of this videoed. There's only so much I can do since I am also helping to run the game, run the videos, and pictures for the event.
Because you're a universal type guy.
All right, let's go look at some other games that are being set up. Hello, Mr. Matt. What are you running here at the HAWKS Barrage event?
I am running a game based on the old classic 92 Schwarzenegger Conan the Barbarian movie. And this is the moment when the heroes sneak into the temple and try to rescue Princess Yasmina.
Is this the one where a lot of the female character women are somewhat ill-clad?
Yes, I didn't do it that way though. This is the PG version.
Okay, this is
not the R version. Yeah.
All right. Now these figures they look really interesting. Can you tell me a little bit about your figures?
Yeah, I make these out of wooden craft bits like beads and spools and, believe it or not, tile spacers from Home Depot, and just sort of try to make everything and build it to the best of my ability. And after watching the movie and trying to recreate it as best I can.
Wow, it really is stunning. And in the movie, doesn't that big pot of whatever goop get spilled?
It does. It does. They're allowed to do that if they want. It hasn't happened in any of the playtest games, but who knows what will happen today.
And believe it or not, I have viewers that are young and they don't necessarily know what is Conan the Barbarian. The movie was made nearly 40 years ago, I think.
Yeah, it's based on a classic Howard character from fiction from the, I believe, 30s. So it's a very old character, but he's a sword and sorcery fantasy type character, adventurer.
All right. Well, thank you for letting me grab you on video. I know you're getting ready to start. And James Earl Jones, whereabouts is he? I got to make sure he's right there.
He's right there.
All right, the hunt for Red October later on. He had a very busy time in the 80s and 90s.
Yes, he did.
Well, thank you, and I hope you have a wonderful game. All right, everyone, it's almost 9:30. It's very hectic here, and we have the Alamo, we have the great Ron Perlman, the Snyder Pretzel King, we have vendors, we have games being set up everywhere of all different types. It's quite amazing that things are zipping along as well as they are. So Duncan, what's cooking in the kitchen today?
What's cooking in the kitchen? We got yesterday's chili reheating. It's going to be better today than yesterday. That's the way chili works. Also salads for lunch, hot dogs for lunch. Later tonight we're going to get pizzas, 20 full-size pizzas in here to feed this crowd. Drinks and snacks all day long. Plenty of games. If you see this and it's not the end of the day, there's still time. Come on in. There's plenty to do. Lots of great dealers.
All right, and thank you, Duncan, for all the hard work. I screwed up. I did not interview you yesterday's Friday video, and I couldn't believe how many people commented.
You weren't quick enough to catch me yesterday.
I couldn't catch you. You're so busy working. Thank you for your time and all you do. Anything you want to close out with, Duncan?
No, it's not.
All right, and
Barrage, it's a great time.
And Bruce, I see you're in charge of the money box, so if we and you end up in Mexico tomorrow, we'll know why.
Well, I did need some retirement funds.
Thank you for helping out with Duncan.
They're in the back. They can't
So you gotta
see
count them all. Don't count two of them because two of them are for your cat.
Would you put
Over here.
The Alamo game
No,
is
David Crockett would have
wild.
shot him right in the head.
So, the Alamo game is going quite well.
I took out 3 bases, but
Okay, you're on up no, over there. Now you're on. Okay, I got 2, 5 and 3. What happened to our cast? What happened to our cast? Okay, well.
Guys, is that your top? These two guys.
That's what you said.
Skill.
Breaking into the action a little bit. It's Dominic is Davy Crockett.
I've killed too many people.
You're holding out well here.
Yeah, those guys were already dead to begin with.
They're coming back now.
Being frozen from the game.
Tom, let's buy one.
You got 20 here.
We have a little Wizard of Oz going on. The Wars of Oz by Chris Palmer, very famous game master. We have Eric Schlegel playing in the Oz game. Get a close-up of that awesome ship.
3 more.
Don't want to interrupt the game too much. Wow, the Alamo's being overrun.
For a second, I thought these guys
Go
were
ahead and take
Texans.
that stand off.
So,
Sorry, having fun, Charlie?
yeah.
All right.
Dual collapsed.
Oh, wow.
The what?
They're going in.
That is.
Wow, this Alamo is looking bleak. But the defenders have been fighting gallantly.
Right there. Oh, they're in the way. Okay, then I shoot them.
Of course, we have the famous Ron Perlman, who actually helped write these rules.
4.
We have Mark and Charlie from Mark's Game Room. Very, very big honor to have them here at this game also. We've had 12 players playing the Alamo.
Quite a few, actually.
Everyone, it looks like Charlie has the most Mexican flags. All right. Can you take this down to Charlie? So Charlie wins a copy of the new Horns of the Buffalo game by Bill Molyneux. All right. And we have to determine who won the game. So Derek is going to count up the points for a second. Ron, we've been playing war games for 25 years. What do you think of today's Alamo?
A ticket to Chicago. I want cell phone tickets.
You want to go there?
No, the Mexicans do.
Oh, okay.
The guns still work. You know?
What do you think of today's game?
Oh, it's fabulous.
Well, it was an honor for us to be playing again. And thank you, Mark. I won't pester you. Charlie, thanks for playing in my game today.
Thanks, Bill.
All right, I'm going to try to get a little video of what's going on. It's midday. Wars of Oz is still going on. Chris Palmer is running the game. And then we're in between lunchtime and final games.
Doing some heavy lifting. This guy damaged, or you can have just normal number of hits.
Beautiful,
Come out of the
beautiful
ramp,
models.
though. You do the ramp and you move back.
Well, the naval game looks really nice. Beautiful, beautiful models. Roxanne Pant's playing, famous war game master herself, and I don't know. I think she's getting rammed by that ironclad. All right. Well, David Luff is very busy running his Frostgraves Dungeons and Dragons style game, 3D printed buildings that he makes, and right now I can't do justice with the video. He's got about 7 players playing, and I don't want to interrupt him or get in the way of his players, but it is a spectacular looking table. We're going to try to get around the other side. And it's incredible. Look at that. There's... All right. Love to get an interview, but David is way too busy right now. Well, here we have a Pirates game, Blood and Plunder.
How'd it go, Bill?
Very good, Sam. All right. This is cool. So this game hasn't started yet, but we have pirates coming off, and I think they're going to plunder that building. I don't know. Let's see what else we have. And once again, the flea market tables are jam-packed full of stuff. And there's Charlie. He looks like he's shopping too. Lots of stuff here to be purchased. All kinds of neat things. 172nd tanks, Warhammer stuff. Flames of Allure galore. Hey, that sort of rhymes. Well, we have Sam is in the process of setting up the Sherlock Holmes game. And I'm coming over to Sam. If you, he lives in Gettysburg, and Sam runs great games. I've interviewed him a few times. And Sam, you got a couple hours yet before you play, right?
Yeah, a couple hours, but hopefully I have the full game. And this is a new adventure, so it's a series. So each game, the previous game, the next episode is built based on what happened with the players' choices from the previous game.
All right, and we're, of course, it's Sherlock Holmes once again. So in this version of Sherlock Holmes, are you encountering werewolves or vampires, or?
There's nothing supernatural about the game. It's the rules are Gaslight, which the HAWKS produced. I've been playing for years. This is about the 13th, 14th Sherlock Holmes episode. They're all based on some Holmes story.
Okay.
So it may seem like something is magic, or but there's like the Hound of Baskerville, but there's no superheroes or anything like that.
Okay, well, I'm going to come back in a couple hours and hit the table and be able to see the difference between the setting up time and how it looks at the end. Thank you for your time. Well, we had videoed this earlier with Matt when he was telling me about it. He has a whole crew playing, and it's Conan the Barbarian with the homemade figures. Well, hello, David. Earlier I was videoing your table, but you're swapped with players. What is this? What do we have here? It looks like Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, glad you asked. First of all, I'm David Luff out of Sterling, Virginia. Today I'm running the game of Frostgrave by Joseph McCall. This is basically 5 years of work of building a game of basically a super high fantasy adventure. I ran with 4 characters, 4 war bands, hunting treasures and defeating and being defeated by the monsters inhabiting the region of now the city known as Frostgrave.
Now, I have to ask, are you making all of these on a 3D printer at home?
I'm using local resources as the public library and friends, but most of it is 3D printed.
Wow. So
files and such.
Like, I'm going to use this as an example for my viewers. How long would that church take to make?
I was able to get it back within a week.
Wow.
It was a fast turnaround. I was really surprised.
Very fast. And it just, I gather this is an ongoing project where you're continuously getting more and more buildings.
Continuously starting basically in 2018 as I got involved with the game of Frostgrave and started building this mega city, I would say. And we're currently running games every Tuesday night at the local game store, Huzzah.
Well, very good. I guess one more question. How did today's game go off?
Except for a little snafu on my part, it went off well. Characters got in, treasures were found. Some members of the parties were unfortunately lost, but overall, the members or the gamers really enjoyed themselves.
Well, when I came by earlier, you were swamped with players. Everyone was rolling dice, and I couldn't interrupt you then. So,
but thank you.
Thank you for letting me interview you.
No problem. Appreciate it. Take care.
Thank you. Well, I'm just throwing on more video as we go. And for all of you people that may have played board games, Avalon Hill is still everywhere. You see Avalon Hill games all over the place still. They still have not died out. All right, everyone. It's Saturday, I guess 4 o'clock. As you can tell, things are really still hopping along. Kevin's getting his game going, and everything is running full bore for the afternoon games. And soon pizza will arrive. There's Dr. Jones again. He's a doctor of physics, by the way. He's not a heart doctor. So we were joking earlier that if he was on an airplane, they called for a doctor, he'd be sort of useless as far as a heart attack victim. Really, a lot of stuff for the flea market areas. Some of these tables were just packed with stuff, and now you see, so there's been a lot of buying, selling, and trading. Of course, we have museum quality tables here. This thing looks stunning. I'm going to see if I can maybe even get into this game. Hard to tell. World War II. And this is museum quality diorama, and we're going to come back to this. So we'll be back in a little while. Well, the Flames of War tournament, and you know, with me with my camera, I gotta be respectful of the gamers and not bug them too much. So what I'm trying to do is, on my channel, at least give you an idea of what's going on. And of course, we have bad weather here in Maryland, so the turnout is still really good, even with the weather issues. Sam is still working on Sherlock Holmes, but it's really coming along from what we were here a couple hours ago. Well, here we have a massive World War II Pacific game, and it looks like Roxanne might be a Japanese admiral tonight. And the table is huge. All right, we have, it looks like some kind of robot war game going, and John's running this game. He ran a couple games yesterday, too. He always has awesome terrain and figures. The shading on these are really nice.
Oh, wow. 7 hits.
All right, for those of you wondering, in a little while pizza will arrive, and it will be a madhouse here with cheese and pepperoni pizza. It's a HAWKS tradition. They have hot pizza delivered at 5:30. And right now I've been told there's, I think, 222 players in here registered for today that have shown up. So that's pretty good for all things considered. All right, we got the World War I dogfight game starting. There we got Snoopy and the Red Baron going down. This is a very popular game. You have a control panel, and you plot your airplane, and it can seat several different flyers, and you may or may not have seen this at different conventions, but you can, so This is your little compartment. You have your ammo, critical hits, and you plot your aircraft. It's a really neat system. All right, we have the dreaded 88. Known throughout the land, the Sherman Killer. Well, for those of you that are Flames of War people, there is one heck of a lot of Flames of War for sale on the flea market tables. Of course, I'm a 54mm war gamer and never started into Flames of War, but there is one heck of a lot here. All right, we've come back to Sam's Sherlock Holmes adventure game. And Sam, it looks a lot different than it did a few hours ago.
Yeah, it takes a while to set up. There's a lot of little individual pieces. There's actually 2 scavenger lists that folks, as they go moving along the table, besides trying to solve crimes or do criminal things, they can pick up items from the scavenger list and get extra. They play for chips, poker chips.
Now, I'm not playing this game, so can you tell me where is Professor Moriarty hanging out?
Professor Moriarty isn't in this scenario.
Oh, he's
it's
not?
Top secret. The arch villain is Eurus Holmes, Holmes' sister.
Really?
Little sister, yep.
How about Mycroft Holmes? Is he here?
Nope, the older brother is not here.
The older brother's not here either?
Eurus Holmes is as smart as, probably smarter than Sherlock is, and as good as he is, she's that evil.
Wow.
Yeah. So
all right.
Top secret. So the way they find out who she is they have to solve a Scrabble puzzle. They pick up clues from the town, and it spells out her name.
Okay. And what's this over here?
That's a small farm.
All right.
And these don't go. They don't go in there. They have 2 taxi cabs to scooch around the table.
Well, the table looks stunning. Just absolutely stunning. I'm going to back up a little bit. The buildings, people might ask me, where are they from? Where'd you buy them?
It's a hodgepodge. A lot of them are building authority, but it's IMAX. Also from our good friend John, Toy Soldier Shop.
Gettysburg Miniature Toy Soldier Shop.
Yeah, get a plug for them. Some of it's aquarium stuff, like the ancient tree over there and the rocks and stuff. So we use a little bit of everything. Made a corn maze.
All right.
Check out the corn maze.
Let's go check out the corn maze, everybody.
It's we're coming into the fall season, so.
Okay. All right. Well, Sam, thank you for letting me check in on you. I know I've interviewed you a few times. Your Sherlock Holmes games are always jam-packed whenever you run these. So.
Thank you so much, Bill. We appreciate what you do.
Well, we're trying to expand the hobby with using some YouTube power.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
I'll take a picture, but nobody's playing. How many people?
World War I, dogfights. All right, this is the miniature campaign game room, and these fellas are playing miniature campaign battles. Many of these fellows have been wargaming for years against each other, and we're not going to disturb them. We'll just step along a little bit. And there's Kevin. Hello, Walt. I know you're not doing Pony Wars today. What are you doing?
We're doing Arc the Legionnaire. It's a game we've been playing since 2014. Most of the people in this room I've known for 30, 40 years. We've been playing back to the old WRG 7th. Then we went on to Field of Glory. And it's, thank God, this came out because this is all based on, ADLG is based on the DBM, DBA gaming system that's been around for ages for 30 years. So, but what it is, it's an in-between. It's not as small as, it's bigger than DBA, but it's smaller than the DBMMs and all the other historical ancient games that are out there. But it's very clear, it's very clean, and it's very concise on how the game system works. It does cover the period from about, the Sumerians right up to the War of the Roses. And so in tournaments, you can have themed tournaments where you stay in a narrow area, or you can have broad tournaments like we have here. We've broken it down to those armies that go from the Sumerians up to about the late Romans, or in an early period, and then those knights that have knights from like the Anglo-Normans right up to the late medieval. Actually, we have 2 War of the Roses armies here, right up to that period. And they all, are they historical? No, but it's a tournament, so you're really sharpening your skills, you're learning how to play the rules and to move the figures.
Well, I need to ask then. So let's say the player Kevin, who I saw was playing, and he wins. Does he go on and play another player then?
Right. What he'll do is, for example, the winners will play winners. People that don't win will drop down and play less fortunate players. And people that have draws will get mixed into the middle. So
now the person who wins at the end of the day, do they get like a check for $5,000 from you or something like that as an award?
They get plaques.
Kevin complain.
He'd become a professional if they paid $5,000.
Kevin's 20 feet away and he heard that.
You know, we give out plaques, and there are some awards. Usually, if we're working with vendors, we give awards to the people that come in at the very bottom just for showing up and learning and playing. But for the most part, it's always plaques.
All right. Well, thank you all for enlightening me on this, and it's interesting to see that these tables are much smaller.
Well, they are. They're very small. They're 48 inches wide. They're 32 inches deep. It takes about 20 to 30 elements, and those elements can have 3 figures if they're cavalry or 8 figures if they're foot, so it varies. In fact, real quick, I want to bring you over and show you Brian's army. Brian's running a late Roman army that he printed 3D. So this, what you'll see on Brian's side are late Romans, and he's playing Joe DiCamillo's. Joe, you're running Assyrians.
All right, you guys mind if I get a close-up real quick? Wow, and what scale are these?
These are 15.
They are 15. Wow, and they're painted so nicely. I'm gonna hit these archers and blow them up a bit. Wow, when I hit them with the camera, it's amazing. They just pop. So
what you basically have is he has 3 commands: a command of auxilia, a command of, those are heavy foot, Brian, and then he has his cavalry wing down there. And he's opposed by Joe's cavalry wing. Joe's got some chariots, and then Joe's, these are all mixed units or semi-mixed. So he's got units of mixed units. So, and then over here is Robert, who did a fantastic job painting War of the Roses.
Okay.
And Jim is running a Spanish army of about the same time period.
Wow. Now, the pikes, so what time period is this? Because people that watch my YouTube channel, so is this
War of the Roses?
War of the Roses
This is actually Henry VIII.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's a very, very tail end of what you call the War of the Roses. So he was in France in 1513. He hired Landsknechts, and he had Scottish horsemen, and English longbowmen, obviously. So
okay, and is there artillery in this era? This is an era that
there is. And you can even, people tend not to use it in the games because it's not very mobile, and you gotta figure out how you're gonna sight it.
Oh, all right.
So it's always a problem.
Well, let's get back to Walt.
Let's not.
Now, I can tell everyone in this room loves Walt. And I have discovered Kevin can hear me from 40 feet away. Well, how do you want to close out the video?
Am I taping now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's just, you might want to edit this. I never had thought about it.
Okay, Walt. Well, we're here, and I see Kevin is over there.
Yep, Colonel Handsome's here today. He managed to draw, I think, in the first round. So now he's playing Jim, and Jim had a draw in the first round.
Okay.
We don't get that many draws, but anyway, so after this round, we've got a 3rd round this afternoon, and then we hand out the plaques, and everybody goes home.
Very good. And I know that Kevin has been featured in many videos. He's quite famous for being handsome. And
I'm getting creamed. Go away. Film somebody else.
all right, Walt, thank you for letting me intrude in your room here. It's very interesting. to see all these fellows that have been friends for all these years and meeting together like this. All right, thank you, Walt.
Hi.
Hi, Mike. Are you having a good time today?
I'm having a good time.
It looks like
I
you're
lost
fighting.
my first game.
How is the Elephant Army treating you?
Elephant armies are very tricky to play with and very tricky to play against.
All right.
If I'm not really on my toes, he will absolutely destroy my army.
All right. Well, thank you for letting me interrupt you for 25 seconds. I wanted to include you in the video, Mike.
Thank you.
So, Walt, how did the Chuckleheads Wargame Group name come about?
Well, it really came out of the ADLG tournaments. They do one that I thought was really neat. They do one where 10 teams or less would come together. Each team has 4 players on it. Each player will fight 5 rounds in a specific period. So you'll have a guy fighting biblical, a guy fighting classical, a guy fighting dark age, and a guy fighting medieval. And so they play 5 rounds in each one of their periods. And as the teams do, for example, if a team has 4 wins, they move right to the top. If they've got 2 wins and a loss and a draw, they'll be somewhere in the middle. And then the next round, the top teams play each other, and it goes right down the line again. So each team had a name. And so the one team out of DC was called the Beltway Bandits. The boys down south, they're known as the Bunnies. And you got that's out of Alabama. There's another group out of Louisiana that has a group. There's a group out of New England. And then there's several groups up here in the Mid-Atlantic region. So when the 4 of us got together, basically the Maryland group, we didn't have a name, and so somebody dropped the idea of Chuckleheads because we like to laugh a lot. So that was about 10 years ago, and we pretty much use it strictly for Art de la Guerre, is what we were playing. But then you come along and hear us talking about Chuckleheads, and then you decide you're going to start up, what is it, a messenger page?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you started that, so we took our shirts and we made you a member,
and I'm very happy and proud to be with the group. And what is there, 6 of us or 7 of us?
Yeah, and it's growing. It's growing as far as people wanting to be Chuckleheads.
Yeah, you, Mike, Joe, Derek,
Bill,
Kevin,
Bill,
and we got Jim and Goober the Traveling Bear.
Yes, and he's got his own shirt.
Yes, and well, Walt, thank you for explaining that to me. And it's so nice to see so many friends get together like you have here. And how far has someone traveled to get here?
The furthest was Mike Kelly, came all the way up from Petersburg, Virginia.
Wow.
Right.
That's a good 5-6 hour drive, probably.
Good 3 or 4 for sure. Yeah, good 4, probably 4.
All right. Well, thank you, Walt.
Okay.
Well, this is Bill Molyneux, and I'm going to close this video out with this. We have pizza coming, and we have the last 6 games. Some people are starting to pack up their flea market and stuff. The Flames of War is coming to a close. So I have a lot of audio and video here to edit. And I hope you'll enjoy this Saturday video. And that's about it. Stay safe, be kind, be courteous. Don't forget to subscribe. The upcoming game in my basement will be Pickett's Charge in 54mm. I'm going to start working on that Sunday. Thank you for watching. Stay safe, everyone.